Well, I am an admirer of Elisa's. Elisa has even worked for me, and the fact is that she is talented.
What's it called? Kermit and Friends?
Kermit and Friends.
Kermit. But it's
Kermit.
You're saying
like
not
the
to
frog?
do.
Yeah,
wait.
I actually have watched a few hours of Kermit and Friends.
How many hours have you watched, Natalie?
Oh, no, probably indulged in 8 hours.
Holy.
My wife and I watched Benji's ex-girlfriends or whatever's going on. We watched this crazy podcast, and I have to say, this is one of the probably in the top 5 things I think about right now.
She has a podcast, but she gets to come on the radio. It is craziness upon craziness.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kermit and Friends. I'm Elisa. This is Fozzie, and Kermit is watching from heaven. We are back, you guys. You cannot get us down. Even when you try to get us down, it does not work. Last Sunday, July 24th, my show Kermit and Friends was compromised in a premeditated attack at approximately 11:10 a.m. I'm humbled to say I had 8 producers helping me, one since quit the show. Booking Gwar, the band Gwar, actress Eileen Gruba from Sons of Anarchy, and Carl from IP2. It makes me absolutely sick to my stomach that hackers had access to my computer, moving things around and disrupting my internet access and ruining the potential for a really great show. Author Aaron Ozee was also scheduled to discuss his upcoming projects, as well as a surprise guest from the Howard Stern Show that I'm afraid to even fucking mention because people reach out to my guests and try to destroy all possibility of my being able to collaborate with them in the future. The whole point of Kermit and Friends is to give people an opportunity to connect and to give to people, to make people happy and make their lives better. And my favorite quote from my favorite movie of all time, Muppets Take Manhattan, is said by the great Kermit the Frog. My dream is not dead as long as I believe in it. And that is the truth. So you can try to take Kermit and Friends down, but nothing will happen because I still believe in it. Okay. And as long as one person believes in it, you can't take it down. And I'm going to reveal the person that tried to take my show down. His name is motherfucking Pixelbat. Pixelbat tried to take my show down and he's a complete asshole. Okay, you guys. So if somebody named Pixelbat tries to talk to you, ignore that person. Ignore that person. He's on Etsy. He has a website. He's on a couple other websites that I found. I looked a lot into him to see what this guy's about. And he actually looks kind of normal. I mean, he makes stickers, but just because someone makes stickers that are cute, don't judge someone by that sticker because stickers don't mean anything. It's who is the person, don't judge a person by their nice stickers, even if they're nice stickers, doesn't matter. The person can still be a complete dick, right, Weezy?
Yes, I was very disappointed in him and I'm glad that you persevered. I saw you talking about it on the Drunken Peasants, and he was actually in the chat arguing with you, but you were on the big stage, so you didn't see that. But yeah, good for you. Fuck him. can't bring you down. You're going to come back better than ever, just like you are today. You have a huge guest today. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah, so many people, like, always when something bad happens, something also good happens. So when that happened and I was really sad about my show, you know, obviously not working and my internet not working and them hacking into my computer. So after that, I was like, you know, something good is going to come of this. And many people stepped forward to help me in that situation. So, like, all these people, and Onision was one of the people that wrote to me and felt bad for me. So look,
I didn't realize that. That's really nice of him.
Yeah, so Onision, like, I think he understands that there's, like, just tremendous haters out there that are looking at people that are creating things and trying to fuck with those people. So I think that's why he said, you know, he called them idiots. He said, oh, I'm sorry those idiots are getting to you. Yes, Onision, you're about to be on. You know, he said, I'm so sorry, because I think he understands this kind of thing. I think
he's had to deal with quite a bit of heckling and probably hacking and a bunch of people against him. Did you get better internet? Because it looks better than ever. Like, it really does.
So this stupid Pixelback guy influenced me to spend a lot of money on my setup. And I said, you know what? We're going to be bigger and better than ever. Nobody's going to get us down. Even if they hate us, even if they despise us, maybe my show was fucked up last week, but we're going to come back bigger and better than ever. And you can't mess with Kermit and friends. We're too strong. Okay. Yes. So just don't even bother. How are you doing?
I'm good. I have kind of taken a step away from the community this week because I had some personal things to deal with. But when I came back, I was overwhelmed with how much things have changed, because if you're not in our Discord, things change so rapidly that you don't know what's what unless you pay attention with your finger on the pulse the entire time. So I've just been playing catch up for the last couple of days.
Yeah, so I'm glad. What did you decide happened when you, like, what did you miss? What did you decide you missed?
Well, I was surprised to see the new mods. I think Pixelbat might have even been a mod for a while, which was surprising to me.
Well, I was trying to kiss Pixelbat's ass so he wouldn't fuck with my computer.
That's what I kind of figured. And then it seems just like there's a bunch of new people. There were boobs. There was all kinds of things that I missed. T-Bob's back. He was back. He was in and out, I think 15 times yesterday or the day before. So we got T-Bob back. So yeah, a lot of change.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes always going on with our Discord server. After this show is going to be the wrap-up show hosted by Weezy. Going to be talking about this show and everything that goes on here with our reoccurring cast and our new people. Here is a guest that I have had on 2 other times, a content creator, a musician, a filmmaker with 300 million views overall on YouTube. 300 million views, you guys. That is serious. Okay, his hit song, my favorite song, I'm a Banana, has been watched over 91 million times, guys. Onision currently runs an OnlyFans page. Ooh, I'm thinking about doing that. And continues to make some of the most creative content on all of YouTube. Everybody give a very warm welcome to my friend Onision. Hi.
You said you might start an OnlyFans?
Well, you know, I'm very jealous of the people with OnlyFans. I got to be honest with you, because they are just like raking in so much money. And that one girl, the Catch Me Outside, how about that girl? She made $50 million on it.
Right.
That's what I heard.
You could probably make a ton of money as well. It's weird because it requires so much less effort. Like a couple hours of work on OnlyFans is like a week worth of work on YouTube. So it's a little bit, you know, it's about what your priority is. If you just really want to rake in the dough and so you can focus more on your hobbies or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a good option.
So has your life changed since being on OnlyFans?
I mean, a lot has happened. Yeah, but I don't know. OnlyFans really is like something that's kind of background to me, just because like initially it was really fun, but then like literally everything was revealed. So then I kind of was like, okay, what do I do now? And people were like writing me, men and women were writing me to collaborate with them. And I was like, I don't just want to have sex for money. So,
because you can only be so naked, right?
What's that?
You can only be so naked. Like after you get naked, like what can?
Yeah, like if you start an OnlyFans, I would suggest really dragging it out. Yeah. So like eventually, you know, more is revealed, but you know, at first, it's just like a little bit risky Instagram or whatever.
So did you go too fast?
If I could go back, I would have waited like at least a year before going all in. But I was getting so much support that I just went all in, and it turned out well. It's just like, you know, once I did everything, I was like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah, you got to make it creative. I mean, you got to like bring in maybe more people. Are you just doing it with your wife? You're married, right?
No, I did it solo completely.
Oh, solo?
Yeah.
Did you ever think about getting other people involved?
I almost worked with this person named Momokun, and then they got canceled, like pretty hard. So,
but being canceled would be good for OnlyFans. Like, why can't the canceled people go on OnlyFans?
Well, no, they can. It's just once they got canceled, the communication kind of was like dead in the water. I feel like.
Oh no.
I mean, I went through a similar thing where, once your once fan base just cannibalizes you, you kind of feel weird about it, and you don't know what to do next, and you don't trust people anymore and stuff like that. So I think that's what Momokan went through.
I never trusted anyone ever in my life, and I can't imagine trusting somebody with something like that. So you're married currently, Onision?
I don't share any of that information.
Oh, okay. So that's a secret. All right. I was just curious
people say I'm divorced, so I'll go with that.
All right. I know a lot of people like you. That's for sure. How has it been since we last spoke? What are the big changes? Is it the OnlyFans? What else is there?
Big changes. Well, there was a very big campaign on me in 2019, and they made a lot of promises. They made me out to be Charlie Manson, pretty much. They were talking about crimes and all this stuff, and it didn't pan out for like any of it. And people, for whatever reason, have a hard time accepting that reality. And so it's been this like constant, like people say, oh, you're a diddler or a groomer or whatever. And I'm always sitting here going, when? When did this ever happen?
So it's all fake. It's all lies.
Well, what's weird is that people feel so confident, ignoring stuff that's real and paying attention to like stuff that's just made up. And they don't feel any like bad about it or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure you've gone through this similar things where people will just say something and you're like, that's the most absurd thing. And then suddenly it's a meme and everybody's saying it. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah,
I mean, I'm called a pedophile like all the time. And I mean, I was considering dating a guy that was 22, but that's not even being a pedophile at that point. So I just really like despise when people call me that. And you've actually you were proven innocent by any wrongdoing by the FBI. So people don't trust the FBI. They trust like chat rooms more than the FBI.
So that's putting it in a literal way, which is not accurate.
Okay.
When I phrase my words, I do so in a way that isn't like concrete with that kind of thing. Like I'll say that the internet, or I'll say like the FBI has made it clear that I'm innocent. The police have made it painfully obvious that I'm innocent. The only witness stated that I am a law-abiding citizen, and so forth. The word choices are very important because there was no, like, the FBI didn't go and say, we have interviewed this person and we have looked through this and we've established that never in their life ever have they ever done anything beyond speeding. There's no like official report, so you can't just, I mean, I couldn't say, that they certified or anything like that. Instead, you have to say that it's been well established and made clear that this person didn't do anything. Because if I had done something, actions obviously would be taken. Like, there was Chris Chan, who was arrested very quickly for what she did. There was that guy from Glee, who action was being taken against very quickly, and then I think he killed himself. There is that, that's not funny, but I'm just like awkwardly
wow.
There was that person from that Cheers show who was arrested very promptly. There's stuff like that where people, they, more often than not, if the internet is talking about it, it's not true, because more often than not, the person is actually arrested before it's even a thing. I think Chris Chan was after, but a lot of these other people, it's just like, you see a headline, so-and-so arrested, like Jared from Subway, and you're like, I didn't even know about that. The first I heard of it, he's already in cuffs, So it's not like the police and the FBI can't take action when they know someone's guilty. It's just
exactly. But it's like
on here on Twitter, just saying that people are, this or that, because that's all they have. They have this claim, but nothing to back it up. And it's really sad that that's how it is. But at the same time, I had no problem making claims against other people back in the day before I was canceled.
Right. Okay. So this is something
That's important.
But you're still dealing with this. And I wonder if it will ever end.
People are still, I mean, it depends. So there's Mel Gibson, who he straight up, I mean, I'm talking about people who, in this case, actually did something. Mel Gibson knocked his wife's teeth out of her mouth or something like that way back in the day. And he left a very hate-filled thing for his wife. And he also went on an anti-Semitic rant, and he did all these things, but he still has a career. Right. And that's because, you know, he has people that know he's bankable. They can make money off of him. And so he continues to have a career regardless of that. And people forget in time over some people, but other people not so much. Like there's Kevin Spacey, who actually did something, and he's probably never coming out under that rock. Unless, of course, he's proven to be bankable as well. Mm-hmm. So that's
all about money, turns out. That's
basically how it works. And I have never been bankable in the sense that I've never been a movie star who sells movie tickets. So it's a little bit different.
I feel like you could be a movie star, though. Is that something that you would want to do?
Well, here's the thing. So if I started applying for roles, they could potentially hire me for a role, which would be cool because I think I'm a really good, intense actor in the right setting. I think that I have a lot to offer. But the problem is that if they suddenly got the movie canceled because of some campaign online against me, I could potentially get sued for being that problem. Like, for instance, Kevin Spacey actually did stuff and actually went to court, but he is getting sued because once he was off the show, people didn't want to watch the show anymore because it's boring without him. So it's like, it's this whole thing where it's like, do I want to risk some kind of liability for internet rumors crashing whatever production I'm involved in? And if I really care about the people involved in that production, why would I put them in jeopardy like that?
Well, you'd really have to do your own thing. I think you would have to produce something, direct something yourself. And then after that, when people see how great you are, you know, it could be picked up, it could be bought. Are you considering that route?
Mel Gibson was method acting allegedly. Yeah, I could totally start something myself. That might be fun.
Yeah, because you have the capability of doing that. That's how a lot of people get started. Like I know Vin Diesel started that way. He made a movie and then it was bought and then he became a famous actor. So sometimes that's the best way in, especially for somebody like you who, you know, you're used to filming yourself. You're used to acting. A lot of it is very theatrical. I feel like that would be the best way in for you. And I could completely imagine that. So yeah, I would go that way. A lot of people have questions for you today.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's start with somebody very nice. My co-host, Weezy. Weezy, you're on with Onision.
Hello, Onision. I'm just curious, you know, I've seen you on the show before, and I've seen what people say about you, and you seem to still have a positive attitude, and you're still doing your thing regardless. Like, how do you come up with that good energy to just kind of ignore all the haters?
I don't. I think that's the thing is like a lot of people have it in them to not feel impacted heavily by hatred and things like that and bullying and so forth. But I'm the type of person who is idealistic and a person of principle and so forth. And so I wind up wasting my time and generally stooping to the dramatic level of a lot of people. Because I'm a human being, and I compare myself to the Nard dog from The Office, because the Nard dog, I forget his name. It's something related to the Nard dog, but he got hate comments online, and he's losing his fucking mind because he's looking at these hate comments, and he's like, "That's not true. I didn't do that." And he's like freaking out, and I'm like, that is so relatable. Because it's just like people say shit and you take people seriously. And
well, that could happen. That's happened to me on these fans.
Especially if they're like, especially if they're like disgusting. Like I made, had to be over 100 videos about how, women's rights should be respected and about how, I used to be like hardcore feminist and people would make fun of me for it. And I was like, I looked at women like they were magical creatures and men were monsters from hell because I was raised with 3 women. And then to see people say horrible things like this after I treated the people in question with, perfect legality and perfect civility, in the sense that, I didn't cross any comfort levels. Like, the worst thing I did is I would make fun of someone for doing something stupid, or I would say that someone was doing something stupid, or I would say that someone was being an asshole or something like that. And when their anger for that situation turns into, well, I was verbally abused or something like that, and then it gets like polarized from that point on, and now you're a fucking monster from hell. On top of all the other things that, they actually contradicted, but the public stated was real. Like, it's kind of weird. And that's kind of why I got blackmailed into doing what I did, because all it would take is someone saying that the rumors about me were true for them to be considered real. But even when that person went public, they said, actually, no, he didn't do this. And they still went with, oh, all the rumors are true anyway. Like, before and after, they were saying that this wasn't true. Even to investigators and everything, they were saying it wasn't true. And they outlined details about how shit wasn't true. But the internet still took it and ran with it, because they said, see, this is real. And then it takes, a lot of crazy shit after that I never thought would happen in my life, because it was so like batshit crazy. But yeah, it's a whole bizarre system, and I don't ignore haters, and I don't always stay positive.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
I do stay generally productive, because I owe it to myself and the people I care about to do something with my life, which is why I release chapters of books, or I produce music, or I make a video or whatever, and I just say, fuck it, I'm doing this for me and the people who care about me.
Yeah, you got to do it for yourself, because if you just stop being creative because of what other people are saying, I mean, you would just be destroyed by the negativity. So I'm so glad you continue to do that. Carl, you're on with Onision.
Hey, how you doing, Onision?
Hi.
Hi. So I remember your banana video. That is probably the highlight of my YouTube, viewing career, if you could say. I mean, I think you're so epic and amazing for that video in particular, but of course you have a massive catalog of work that I deeply appreciate. So what are your thoughts on pedophilia?
So my father is actually an accused pedophile, and that has haunted me pretty much my whole life. He and I got in a run-in when I was a 15-year-old, a fist fight, and I wound up in juvenile hall as a result, but I was released a couple days later.
You fought your dad?
Yeah, shit out of my dad, who was...
Why?
So I wrote about it recently in a pretty detailed chapter. I talked about it in numerous videos, and that's what's cool about, when you just tell shit like it is you don't have to worry about, remembering how you said it before. Yeah. You always remember how the shit happened.
Were you molested? Were you molested?
To the best of my knowledge, no. I think he's just strictly into females. But no, I have two older family members who stated that he had groped them or digitally penetrated them. And
digitally?
Yeah.
Finger, Carl.
Digitally.
Yeah. When my family
Can you explain that?
He said the same thing you did. I was like, digitally? Like.
So can you explain that concept of digital penetration?
What's that?
What's the concept of digital penetration? How does that work?
So my family member's story is that my mom was asleep in the front of a truck, and that while they were driving, he stuck his hand into the other family member's pants and stuck his fingers inside of her, and that she was basically paralyzed with fear over the situation, and then constantly harassed my mom, rightfully so, about why she was still with my dad. And on top of that,
I'm sorry. What does that have to do with digital technology?
Nothing, Carl. Nothing. It's a digital penetration is the finger.
Your fingers are your digits. So when you say you did something digitally, Dr. Aaron Ozee, I think, said digit equals finger. But no, like to finish that story, real quick, I'll run through the basics of it. I beat up my father because I was trying to sleep with my girlfriend a weekend that he was deciding, or his wife was deciding, to impromptu travel around the same family. So as a result, I wasn't able to be with my girlfriend physically and experience something that I thought was wonderful at the time. I was very mad, so I was blasting, 9 Inch Nails and Rob Zombie in the back seat on my headphones. He said, "What's my problem?" I flipped him off. Actually, I don't know what he said. He probably said, "What's my problem?" But my headphones were blaring, so I flipped him off when he, seemed to confront me. And then he got me to take my headphones off, and then I said, "It's your fucking bitch wife who, ruined my weekend." And so he pulled over to a gas station, and he proceeded to choking me, kind of like Homer Simpson did to Bart all the time.
Oh my gosh!
But it was really weird because his whole body was like between the 2 front seats, and it was like he was like heavier, so it was a real struggle for him. I warned him to get off me. He wouldn't get off me, and I'm choking this out as he's choking me, like I'm like as much as you can talk while choking or being choked. And so after I warned him so many times, I took my combat boots and I stomped him about 15 times. He was like initially he slammed against the dashboard. If you imagine yourself on the back in the center area of a car, and then just pushing him off you with your feet, and he goes through the 2 seats in front, slams against the dashboard, and you kick him over and over until you're pretty sure he won't attack you again. And I didn't, want to like seriously damage him too far, because that would be fucked up. So I stopped when I thought I was safe, but then he went around the car and started choking me again. And then he bled all over me. And once he went to blood, he's choking me again, but once he went to wipe the blood off his face, that's when I took my chance and I darted off. And the cops eventually, I was just sitting on a curb crying.
Oh no, this is horrible.
Thing, and what's weird about him is that he changed his story multiple times. First, he said that he just gently put his hand on my shoulder. Actually, no. The first story he said that is that he did absolutely nothing, and I just allegedly hauled off and punched him in the face, which makes no sense. But okay, that's what he told my little cousin. And then later on, he said that he gently put his hand on my shoulder, and then his story later changed. And he did this for Newsweek. It's in writing that he said this. He just gently put his hand on my shoulder. But then on the documentary, he said he shook me and that he probably wanted to choke me. So his story changed 3 times.
So you can't trust what he says if his story keeps changing. On the documentary, he wanted to look good, right? Do you think that the public opinion?
Why he was even on there? Because like to imagine a father on a documentary speaking, anything but positive about his son is just batshit crazy to me.
Exactly. I would not trust anyone after my father went against me like that. I could see why you have.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I could see why you have so many trust issues because your own family has turned on you.
Well, the key players like my mom and my sisters and, some other relatives are professing their love for me and still being inclusive and stuff in my life in general. So that's nice.
Good. That is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we have High Pitch Eric. High Pitch Eric, you're on with Onision.
Well, first of all, I want to say Carl was way worse. He's a piece of shit.
Carl?
I fucking hate him. Yes.
Why do you hate Carl?
Because I know his history. He's a piece of shit. And if I had a kid, I would choke both of these fucking people.
Okay. You would not do that, Eric. You're a very nice guy. You're not a violent guy. And Carl... What?
Listen, I know I'm not a violent guy, but after I know these people and their history, I mean, these guys are pedophiles.
Nobody here is a pedophile, Eric. We have Carl here. I don't know him as a pedophile. Onision was found innocent of everything.
Hi, Eric.
So,
how you doing?
So Onision, why did you... So, if you were found innocent, why did your father still choke you out?
I don't understand the question.
So that was a different circumstance. This is when Onision was a child. He's saying that he was like abused by his father. It's very hard, I'm sure, for him to talk about this. And I feel bad, that he went through this. It's horrible what he went through as a kid. And now it's affecting him. What happens to us as a young child affects us our whole life, Eric. So
okay, so let me ask you a question. So you were abused as a child. Would you ever want to get revenge back on your dad?
I think that's been done. I beat him up for it.
Yeah, he beat him up. He was beating him up, but there's still pain there, even though you beat up your dad. even so, I think that still affects us like later on in every relationship. And you've had so many volatile relationships. I wonder if your dad and your childhood was a part of that, and if you're working on that at all.
So my relationships and my issues almost unanimously stem from my problem with the use of illegal drugs.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I have a problem with people who use illegal drugs being my significant other. So,
okay, so you're attracted to, is it women? It's women, right? You're only attracted to women.
I'm actually, I don't know if this is a sexual preference or not, but I'm a dominant person.
Okay.
So I'm attracted to like twinks and like women in general.
Okay,
but
so men that are feminine.
So like there's Wonder Woman, not attracted to her at all because she is a dominant personality.
Got it.
But then there's someone like Catwoman. I don't think she's as dominant. It's like it's all about like I'm into people who like me leading the dance. So
you want somebody that's submissive. You like a sub relationship.
It sounds fucked up though when you say like submissive, because then it automatically goes into they want to control and blah blah blah. It's like, no, I'm like the lion with the big mane, and then there's the people who shave their mane or are naturally maneless. Like it's just I should probably put it into more articulate words.
I think I kind of get it. I have a huge fan of yours on the phone. Her name's Lori. Yes, Lori, you're on with Onision.
Hey, fun thing. I actually think that Onision hates me because he blocked me recently on Twitter.
Oh no!
I have thousands of people blocking me.
I'm quite fond of him, but I am frustrated when he's like responding to haters because there are like important things that he leaves out that I feel like as a responsible person he should admit.
Like what, Lori?
Yeah, state it now.
When it comes to the forums and like the rating videos that went on, like the first clarification should be that the fans made those posts and he was just reacting to them. He was doing what the fans wanted him to do. Mm-hmm. The second thing that should be clarified is that he should admit that moderation probably should have been a little bit more increased at that time, and there should have been more vetting about what pictures that he responded to, because there were underage girls. No, now he did not say sexual things about the underage girls, but people still want to say something about it because, whatever.
Where are you talking about? Are you talking about like on Twitter or Discord or OnlyFans?
He blocked me on Twitter and he kicked me out of his Discord.
Oh no!
Like a couple months ago.
Okay.
But I really wasn't active anyways.
All right. Well, maybe that's why he kicked you out. I'm sure he likes people that are active.
I responded to him on Twitter like one time within the last like month, and I got blocked because it wasn't exactly agreeing 100% with him, but it was stating facts that I thought were important to the matter that actually make him look a little bit better if you point out the fact that he was just doing what the fans wanted, that he wasn't making these posts. The fans wanted him to make those videos. And
fans can be very annoying. Let me just tell you. A little bit more I kind of like side with Onision on this because fans, like, they want a lot from you. And then they're like super annoying, and he's still trying to be himself. He's not going to react to everything. So I can tell. I think I know why he blocked you, Lori. But you had a huge crush on Onision. Did something happen?
I've loved Onision for like over 10 years. I used to watch his videos all the time as a kid.
All right.
I'm quite fond of him.
We'll try to get back to that.
We don't get along. I'm quite fond of him.
All right. So, all right. Thank you, Lori. See, fans can like want a lot from you. I can see why you did block Lori, poor Lori. But yeah, I could see how that would be. Like,
so the blocking thing, I block thousands of people, literally thousands. My list is probably at 15,000 people. So
wow, on Twitter.
It's not something that they should take personally. It's just I get ratioed, quote unquote, ratioed a lot, where people will say ratio, and so a lot of times I will block the person who said ratio and everyone who favorited their tweet too, to like prevent them from partaking in the ratio thing, so I can get back to focusing on what I'm doing rather than being distracted with always going, what the hell is everyone responding with?
Yeah. Who cares what they think?
She said something kind of important. The problem with what she said, specifically about the forums, which was onision.net or onision.xyz or something like that at the time. First of all, the issue of, they say these are, I should have been more strict with moderation of the content. The problem with that is the fact that on the site, repeatedly, it specifically stated that I could only use content that was YouTube appropriate. So if there was an issue with the content, then it was a YouTube problem because of the fact that everything abided by YouTube policy. Additionally, the forum repeatedly and through multiple generations of the forum stated that you could only submit content if you're 18 plus. So on top of it having to be YouTube appropriate, which means, it has to be ad appropriate. And you know how strict advertisements can be.
Very strict, yes.
So on top of it being ad appropriate, YouTube appropriate, it also stated that you had to be 18 plus for the majority of the site's existence. Okay. And on top of that, that person is right, because they stated that I should have pointed out that it was user requested, and then it wasn't like, I was saying, submit it to me on this or that. It was literally like, hey, if you want me to talk about something, go to this forum and post it here. And people would say, rate me 1 to 10, or tell me if I'm fat or not. And I'd be like, hey, this topic has 60 goddamn pages of people demanding I tell them what their rating is or how fat they are or whatever. So I'm going to fucking make a video about that, because obviously that's what people are interested in. And so I did that. And then people from that point on are like, pedophile. And it's like, dude, YouTube appropriate, 18 plus only. What are you people not understanding about this? And the reality is that even though I did address at least once what she said in a video, my videos don't go anywhere. They only take the stuff they can take out of context, or the stuff that they can otherwise use to make me look bad, and everything else gets buried. Like the other day, I saw someone share with me a clip of me explaining what happened to the person who blackmailed me. And they took one part of that video that fit their narrative when the intro of the video contradicted their narrative. So if they put them together, it would have been complete, but instead they only used the part that they could use to suit their narrative. And that's why it just spirals out of control. Like even on the documentary, they would use me in character saying, no one will ever know how much I abuse you, dressed as the Joker, talking to Harley Quinn.
And they would say that's you. And they would just edit it to frame you.
They're like, that's not him. That's not the Joker. That's him literally saying it to her. And they also completely omit the fact that she was laughing and kissing me around that time, dressed as the Joker, and her dressed as Harley Quinn. And then later on, this is what's fucking mind-blowing, is I broke up with this person because she got pregnant with someone else's baby while actively dating me.
Oh, so God.
That was a pretty huge thing. And then she's on this documentary saying that the Harley Quinn and Joker interaction was like a real thing. And I'm like, how the fuck could that be a real thing? We literally uploaded it while we were dating, like the whole thing. We had that as like the extra part of the video at the end, just to kind of like make a joke about their relationship. And
were you guys in a committed monogamous?
To completely reinvent the past to suit her grave dislike of me, which is weird because it was like a year or two prior. I hadn't seen her in a decade, but a year or two prior, she was emailing my significant other saying nice things and wishing us well and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I was treated horribly and blah, blah, blah.
That's weird though, Onision. When somebody like your ex is emailing your current, there's some kind of
She used to say, there's an Adele song where Adele's talking about showing up on someone's doorstep after they're happily married.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's going to be me someday. And I'm like, that's terrifying, actually.
That is scary. They need to let go.
If I'm moving on from you, like if I'm married with kids or whatever, I don't want you showing up on my doorstep acting like we're suddenly going to get back together. That's crazy shit. It goes on and on. I could write a whole book about all the crazy shit. Like, her literally promising in a video to destroy me and that when she's done with me, there will be nothing left.
But why did she cheat on you? Were you guys
out there and nobody cares? And then she was hauled away by the literal police. Nobody cares.
What was she when she was cheating on you? Why do you think she did that? Why does somebody cheat on Onision? Why do you think that happened?
She was in so she was in Canada. I had just flown her back. She said she had sepsis, and she had medical coverage in Canada, so I had flown her back. Obviously on my dime. Paid for the flight, sent her back there. I was paying her monthly thousands of dollars to make sure that she was taken care of while she was in Canada and getting her care for quote unquote sepsis, which is what she said. I don't even know what the hell is true or what not. I made a whole video called Her Lies, and I just run through all the lies I was told. It was a music video. It was pretty good. But so she's there, and she says that she lost her passport. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to continue sending you money to make sure you're taken care of while you're there, since you say you lost your passport. And then her uncle, I'm talking to her uncle on the phone, and her uncle says, you realize she's like a hardcore pathological liar, right? And I'm like, well, I'm just trying to track down, like, have you seen her passport? And she's like, dude, she didn't lose her passport. And I'm like, well, I love her, so I believe that she's telling me the truth. And he's like, okay, you're lost, dude. And I was like, all right. Anyway, so I went on searching for it. And then eventually somebody emailed me, a fan or whatever. They're like, hey, I'm really sorry to break this news, but this is what your girlfriend is posting on Facebook to her new boyfriend's page. And I'm like, we're still fucking dating. And he's bragging about how much he loves having sex with her.
Oh.
And then it's revealed that she's pregnant. And I'm like, fuck. And then I had a little mental breakdown and cried. And
yeah, that's horrible to get through that.
6 miles to a Denny's in the middle of the night and sat there with no blood in my face, completely defeated mentally and emotionally. It was fucking awful. So
I'm sorry. I know that's horrible.
10 years later, she gets paid like 20 to 40 grand, as I understand, based on receipts I've seen and based on the confession of someone else saying that they had to sign an NDA and that they now have enough money to pay for a down payment on a house, which is roughly, an average house in that area would be about $400,000, so maybe 12%. So they had about
because of her.
The point is that she ran this documentary, got paid. Everyone got involved, got paid. They even said in the documentary, everyone is making money off this. It's so fucking painfully obvious, and to see somebody who I literally had to break up with for getting pregnant with someone else's baby later on talk about how I'm a monster. It was just like bizarre world. It's like the Mandela.
That's not a good person. Anybody that cheats, that lies and cheats like that and hurts someone, because I'm sure she knew you'd be hurt by this. That's a very bad person.
I don't think she really cared. Like whenever I would say I was going to break up with her or something like that, she would pull the old "I'm going to kill myself" thing. And one time she's like, I'm actively walking to the top of a building to jump off because you're breaking up with me and I can't live anymore. And I'm just like, then I have to like get back with her because I don't want her to kill herself. And it's the same shit over and over, which is the same thing as the meltdown. She's like, you destroyed my life. You ruined me. And I'm literally saying, I didn't do anything. I just broke up with you. And she's like, no, I'm going to destroy you. And when I'm done, nothing's left. Nothing will be left. And I'm just like, this is so fucking crazy. It was so weird because like one time she disappeared during an argument. She grabbed her suitcase and just walked off. And then she came back with a leaf on her shoulder. And she said, I tried to kill myself, but the branch broke. And I'm just like, this is fucking batshit crazy. Like all of this. And then another time she disappeared because we were in an argument or I had broken up with her. And she is returned by the literal fucking fire department because they were reported that a woman was on the ground shaking on the sidewalk and that she was like all out of it and hazy. Another example is that she said that her trainer for her music career had accidentally knocked her out during the fitness kickboxing. I had brought it up with the trainer. He acted like I was batshit crazy for even suggesting the idea. It goes on, and that's the people who used as the leading example of how I'm a monster. And I'm just like, fucking hell. Like in that relationship, I literally felt like it can't be normal for me to have to call the police on someone this many times. And then later on, she went to court with an ex-boyfriend of hers where it was revealed that she had threatened to put a combat knife in his chest. And his case was dismissed because it was revealed that she was actually a psychopath in that situation. So, like I said, it was a horrible relationship.
Terrible.
I was an idiot for being in it. Everybody who was watching me back then knows very goddamn well that the mass majority of my audience was begging me to leave her, and they were horrified by her, and yada yada yada. But time rewards those who have patience, and she waited for her opportunity and took it.
Yeah, she made money. You know, I think she's gonna get some karma her way, though, Onision.
Yeah, karma's not real. Look how long Hitler lived.
All right, okay. I'm just trying to be nice. Okay, here, let's bring up Charmin Smith. Charmin, you're on with the great Onision.
Hey, Onision. I actually have questions about the FBI investigation portion. Like, did you report this to the FBI? Did somebody report you? How long did it take for them to get back to you?
I have absolutely no connection or communication with the FBI. I can only observe what other people say.
Okay. That seems to be my experience as well.
They didn't bother to interview me or anything. They felt like it was such a non-threat that there was zero communication with me, including the police department. People, because of internet trolls, the cops had been called over 30 times. CPS had been called multiple times. Animal control had been called, and every single person. Yeah, I know. I made a video with my dog where I fed him a muffin, and I pretended to fart on him. I was making fart noises with my mouth, and I pretended to fart on him. And the animal control showed up with a police escort, and I was explaining to them, I fed my dog a muffin. What are you guys doing here? And they're like, well, it seemed very concerning. And on the animal control report, they're like, well, this person has accusations against them of this other thing. So we're going to actually treat this with, a level of caution and so forth. And I'm just sitting here looking at everyone like they're fucking crazy because it's like, I didn't do anything. And so like every single time the cops are called, the cops would either ignore it or they would show up and realize that it was once again more internet bullshit. And that's what's weird that people just voluntarily ignore is the fact that you have people calling the cops, translation, lying 30 fucking times. And nobody goes, hey, maybe the internet's fucking crazy because if they are 0 for 30 on the cops and for CPS repeatedly confirmed a good dad by CPS over and over again, and by animal control confirmed a competent pet owner. If all of these official sources of trained authority are confirming that this guy is consistently law-abiding and is not doing anything crazy, maybe we should just say that these internet trolls are internet trolls and that they're morons who don't know what they're talking about.
You know what? I actually have a really good question for you, because one of the things that I'm learning as I speak with police officers and ask them what their game plan is for cyber stalking and internet crimes, they're all kind of, they don't really know what to do. If you have a ton of experience with cyber stalking, if you could create a platform on how to stop some of the harassment, what's the advice that you would do? What would you like to see happen?
The internet is the Wild West. There's no controlling it.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do, you guys. Everybody's crazy on here, especially the most active people that are most active in, tearing Onision down, tearing me down, whoever. Those people are insane, guys. Like that Pixelback guy that took down my show last week. That person's insane. Here's a person, T-Bob. There's no controlling the internet at all. We just can't, right? Right, Bob?
Well, yeah. There's so much truth to that. I don't think there's been anybody in here near as docked as me. Onision's had a lot of police calls apparently to his situation, but I don't really agree with a lot of you about Onision because I think he's guilty of sin. I think there was not an investigation because there were many talks during that time going on where his then lover boyfriend was talking about how while they were having sex and she was in the other room playing video games and then blah, blah, blah. And then she took a trip back to her parents' house. She came back when she was 17. His ex-boyfriend was talking about who had what sex with who and when, and that was including her at age 17. So they did have sex with the underage woman, but the FBI, where were they at? Nobody that was involved in looking at anything online about any possible clues as to whether he's guilty or not guilty dared to even look online, or they would have seen those same events unfolding.
So the problem is that with what you're saying that there was no investigation, although there's actually official police report concluding their investigation that was publicly released.
And what about that?
I'm here to tell you that there are a lot of times when cops simply do not investigate something. And in this case, they may have gone, and I'll tell you what I do know that happened, for example. They went to her and had a talk with her about it. Well, at first, she claimed that there was no sex. But then she gets into this conversation with his ex-lover or current boyfriend or whatever. I can't remember if y'all were together or not at the time. And in which she admitting to having sex with Onision. because he was jealous and he wanted to have sex with her too. And more importantly, he wanted a three-way with them. But that,
sorry, I don't know who you're.
She was 18.
I don't know who you're talking about, so it's hard to keep up with that.
He might have his story. He gets confused on things a lot. Like he gets different stories mixed up. That's
yeah. No, if he's talking about the chick who admitted that she has enough money for a down payment on a house now because of her going on the show. If he's talking about that, she both in video, in text, and on the police report stated that nothing had happened to her that was even remotely inappropriate when she was not an adult, which establishes everything.
Exactly. Guys, he's been proven innocent on everything.
You're talking about me being around someone who's not an adult extensively, not doing anything inappropriate with them whatsoever, also confirmed on her police report by said individual. And yet people continue to push that narrative, and it's kind of bizarre because it's like when the only person who was actually there, especially when it's like, you know, the supposed victim, is stating that this is not the reality on a police report after they've already like thrown me through the shitter on their live stream, when even then they're saying he didn't do anything. It's amazing that people still go, but wait a minute, I heard on the internet. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Hey, Kay, you're on with Onision.
Hi. What should I say?
just ask him a question.
You love asking people to ask questions. I don't know, like, I kind of missed a lot of it because it was like a lot of like he said, she said kind of stuff. I'm really kind of confused what's going on. Sorry.
So Onision, I'll tell you, Onision is like a big star, right? He has a big YouTube channel and he's writing a book.
I'm a has-been.
What's your book about?
The most recent one is just me basically going through my life. So autobiography.
He's a very interesting life because, you know, when he became a big star on YouTube, a lot of people were drawn to him and they reached out to him and he had them in his home. And now people are really trying to tear him down. Even though he was found innocent, people are very obsessed with him. And that's what I see from all of this, is that people just get an obsession with someone that they don't know. And they try to tear that person down and they don't even stop after he was found innocent, which is just so insane to me, Kay. So Kay, in her past life, she was Albert Einstein, right, Kay?
Yeah.
So who else were you in a past life? Albert Einstein, who else?
I was a lot of people. I really don't know. Beethoven, I guess, was the main one. Aristotle. Those are the main, like, three ones. Vivaldi, Ada Lovelace.
Okay, so you're also a big star. So what would, like, Vivaldi or Beethoven say about this situation?
If somebody accused me of something I didn't do, I don't know. I just say, fuck you. I would do... I got mad at when I was Beethoven. I got mad at Napoleon. I wrote him a composition and I canceled it and I deleted it. I said it's not for him anymore. So I would just do something really mean like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess like in this life, nobody's really accused me of anything, and I don't think in any of my other lives people have accused me of anything. When I was Albert, people accused me of having sex with a bunch of girls, cheating on my wife, which I think was true. I don't remember. I remember having sex, but I mean, I guess if I did, then I don't know, but. I also got accused of like treating my wives like slaves, which I think is funny.
So even as Albert Einstein had tremendous haters. So when you were Albert Einstein, people came out against you, and that was horrible for you, even after all your accomplishments.
They still do. They still do. I'm like, my ex best friend Monica. She when I told her I was Albert Einstein, she's like, oh, he was horrible to his wives, and he was a horrible man. He created the atomic bombs, and I was like, whoa, dude, you're supposed to be my best friend. And I was like, I did not create the atomic bombs, dude. I got accused of creating atomic bombs on Onision. I mean, like, dude, try that one.
So life is hard for everybody.
That's an absurd claim. So I mean,
yeah,
like it's not even within the realm of possibility. So that's why I wouldn't take something like that. But like these days, I personally find what people would say that happened to be vomit-inducing and awful. So it's a little bit more upsetting to me because it's the opposite of my values.
Right.
And that's partially why it's so upsetting. Like if someone said you created the atomic bomb to me, I would be like, that's so dumb. I don't need to respond to it because it has nothing to do with anything.
And so your morals and values are what? That you don't tear people down, you build things, you're a creator.
I do tear people down. I used to make entire videos that were just shitting on like people like Social Repose and
Oh,
Shane
you mean
Dawson.
the pictures? You mean those pictures that you were like putting up and rating people? Is that what you mean?
Those were put up by the people who wanted my opinion. Like it was men, old women, old men as well. It was also other people who were in my audience, like 20-something-year-olds, and some people say that they lied about how old they were, and I was putting like 70 YouTube appropriate ad friendly images in the videos per video or whatever. So it was a real issue because those videos would get 10,000 likes each. Like people were obsessed with them. I even had the people in question, like an ex-girlfriend and another person, do the videos with me, and they loved making them. They loved watching them. It was just like a culture change that wound up making it like awful later, but back then it was celebrated and supported by the audience. So it was very odd to see like them demand these videos get made, them actually post requests to my forum that they get made, then I make them, and then they punish me for it. It was
Do you regret it at all? Do you ever like regret anything you've done?
I should have told my audience to go fuck themselves a long time ago.
No, but I mean, do you regret like rating those
I should have been
pictures?
said that you guys are complete assholes because you're just going to request this now, and then later on you're going to say it was all my fucking idea.
Yeah, that is annoying. That is super annoying. I could see why you're upset by that. Okay, Jimmy Jordana, very nice guy, a good friend of mine. You're on with
Hi. It's an honor to be in your presence.
I'm a regular, boring, normal,
yeah.
stupid
You are
person.
not boring.
You're still really compelling. I was going to ask you. I'm sorry. I was going to ask you a lot of questions about your childhood, but I'm going to switch it up because you talked about your addictions. I'm somebody who's in addiction recovery. I've got 14 months of sobriety under my belt. Addicted to booze, weed, acid, mushrooms, nitrous oxide. Are you actively involved with any kind of addiction recovery program, or are you sober currently, or do you not want to talk about that? Or what do you think about recovery and possibilities for addiction recovery?
I think I don't know of what I'm addicted to outside non-constructive behavioral patterns involving dealing with people who are trying to get retweets and likes, or trying to get views on their videos so they generate more ad revenue or something like that. I engage with people because I care about what people say, and that is an addiction in a sense. But I have never had an issue with like substance abuse or anything like that, just because I looked up the reason why people do coke and weed and all that stuff, and one of the number one reasons is because of peer pressure or social expectations and so forth. And because of that, I didn't really have a problem because I didn't really make that my priority. My priority as a teenager and so forth was designing websites and running forums and making comedy videos. Even when I was 15, I was making comedy videos. So my focus wasn't there, and therefore I was able to avoid certain addictions. I would say I'm addicted to work, and that I spend too much time working as well, but I don't think I need a recovery program for that, fortunately.
And also, he said before that he was dating people that were on drugs, right? He wasn't doing drugs.
These people are just screaming pedo in the comments like they're not hearing a single word said. It's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, when I was 14, I dated somebody who did drugs, and I broke up with him many times because the drugs that they did were illegal, and I would say they'd have to quit in order to date me because I didn't want to be associated with crime. And then they'd say they quit, and then they don't. And the same thing happened over and over and over again, where I'm like, there's this person who was smoking weed in a state where it wasn't legal. I'm like, listen, I don't care if you smoke weed in a state where it is legal, but you're breaking the law, and that puts me in jeopardy by association. And I just generally don't want to be dating someone who is a literal criminal by the law standards, because people go to jail. Like back then, they'd go to jail for that for like 10 years or whatever, depending on how much they had on them. And so my consistent ambition has been to be relatively drug-free, especially when those drugs are not legal. So anyway.
Understandable. Okay, Carl, one last question for Onision.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I actually, wow. Onision, you talk a lot, man. Holy crap. But Onision, you are an amazing person. Very sensitive. I love what you create, I guess. You create a lot. And man, do I have any questions for you? Do you want to come over? Do you want to hang out ever? Or do you want to come on my podcast? I'm sorry, Lisa, is this appropriate to ask on your show?
If anybody wants to do a collaboration or something, they can just post to the forum at onision.com.
Can I get an answer here though? Can we skip
I don't
that?
know anything about you.
Why don't you talk, Carl?
Hey,
Carl, pitch him.
I'll pitch you right now. Can I pitch you?
Can you drop me a link to what your podcast is right now?
Just give me a second.
So Carl, I'll tell you a little bit about Carl, okay? He can be obnoxious. I'm just warning you. Yeah, he has that side to him. Okay, he's obnoxious. I'm gonna be honest. So he kind of like forces interviews on people. So like Andy Dick, like my fiance, he really, really, really wanted to interview Andy Dick. So he parked outside my apartment and stayed there and stalked us until Andy walked outside. That's what he did. That's Carl, right? Carl, did you do that, Carl? Carl?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you kidnapped Andy.
No.
That's what
Please
you
don't
did. Just tell Onision what you did. Oh.
Onision, listen. Okay, listen. Let's skip the bullshit, the chit chat. We're both professionals. You know what you want. I know what I want. Come on the podcast.
Oh God.
I know nothing of your podcast. I need to see a link.
Yeah, we'll get. All right.
Carl, what is up? This is the worst pitch I've ever heard in my entire life. You've said nothing. Like, who are you? He just knows you as Carl right now.
Oh man. Shit.
What are your credits, Carl?
My credits. That's a great question. I've interviewed very famous people. Quentin Tarantino. You know Quentin Tarantino, right?
Yeah, he's very strange.
So I interviewed him.
Did Quentin Tarantino know that you were going to be interviewing him that day? That's my question.
Can I at least Google your podcast? Like, what is it called?
Carl, I podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please not judge me? Can you please be open-minded? Please be open-minded. Whatever you see, you be open-minded, okay?
Carl, I podcast, like iPod.
Yeah.
He's not going to find it.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We'll keep in contact. We'll keep in contact, Onision. Are you gonna come on Elisa's RV?
I don't know. Maybe someday.
We were talking about doing a little road trip where we pick up Onision.
You need to do it, Onision.
Yeah.
You need to do it. Listen to your heart. You know that this is some organic unfolding of events in your life, and this could lead you down a path of unbelievable amounts of happiness.
Hey, why is the whole grooming and pedophilia like just generally the internet's go-to? Because I'm seeing the comments spamming, that you're a person who pursues 16-year-olds and stuff, and it's so fucking disgusting that people keep saying this shit.
I would just ignore that.
Absolutely. Onision, listen. Yeah. Let's talk about it on a campfire. Mm-hmm. I'll come to Wyoming. That's where you are, right?
Washington State.
Got it. So I'll come over there, and we'll start roasting the nuts over the fire a little bit.
Right.
Sorry about that, Onision. You don't have to go on his podcast or do anything with that guy.
It's like I said, if you want to if someone wants to set up a podcast or something, they got to go to my site and just post on the forum because
because he wants to see the other podcasts you've done. And your credits and what you have going on. He doesn't want to be like bamboozled. Like that happens to me sometimes. Like I decide to be nice and go on somebody's podcast and then they completely trick me and just like are mean to me. So Onision doesn't want that, I'm sure, Carl, right? So if he were to go on your podcast, you'd have to make it a nice experience for him. That's what it's about, right, Onision?
I have no idea.
But don't judge my road trip based on that guy. Okay, my road trip is going to be fun, and we're going to have great people on it, and we're going to have a great time. What else is up for you soon? What else are you looking forward to?
I'm actually a pretty normal, boring person in the sense that my priorities in life are very humble and not highly ambitious because I have an issue with, first of all, the interest in fame was crippled.
Oh, you're not interested in fame anymore?
I wouldn't say something concrete like that just because of the fact that, you know, I'm here on this show. So obviously that's like a little contradictory.
Right.
But no, I'm not like, that's not my greatest ambition or anything. Fame and also, you know, acquiring enormous wealth isn't an ambition either. I've had great fame and I've had a lot of money. Like, to put that in perspective, you know, I could expect 80 million views in 1 month at my peak. And that equated to about, back then, for what ad revenue was, $80,000. So I've made $80,000 in 1 month before. But that.
Have you ever done the whole Onision? Have you ever done the whole donation route like these other people are doing?
Sorry, just to be clear to everyone, I do not make that money anymore, and that money is gone. Okay, so if you're seeing dollar signs right now, don't. I had two of the premium Teslas and so forth.
Wow.
Yada yada yada. But when I had that success and I had that fame, I was still unhappy, and as a result of that and the cannibalistic quote unquote fans that I had, who actually, like, I personally think that they're primarily pieces of shit, because to betray someone that you're a fan of to that great extent over bullshit that's not even true, like literally hearsay horse shit that's now debunked, it tells me that you were never a fan and that you were just there for yourself and nothing else, that you didn't ever give a shit about me. So, like, knowing, like, there's quite a few people on Onision.com who are actually fucking bomb as shit because they obviously care about me. Like, some people prove that by straight up, like, helping fund my site for me. Like, there's no real reward in that, yet they did it anyway. There's those bomb as fuck rare diamonds in the rough or whatever, but most fans are absolute fucking garbage. And so, yes, most. Because if you ever get accused of something and all their friends tell them it's true, they're going to turn on you like nothing. It'll be like,
it's terrible.
And then a lot of times they'll wind up being a huge fucking bully of you, because now all the love turns into hate, because for some reason a lot of fans can't even fucking function without one or the other being a reality in their mind. So what I'm saying is, fans, for the most part, have no value to me, other than the few fans that are actually legit, and they're actually more so friends than fans. So essentially all fans are garbage, and I only value friends, because friends are there for you, and they say, hey, I know that you're going through this shit, but I just want you to know that I care about you. So fame, shit, because it has a bunch of bullshit, empty-headed fans who only go with what the mob wants. And money, a lot of times bullshit, because it only puts a target on your back, and everybody wants to fucking, you know, get their piece. And they did, in the sense that, you know, I was buying people, you know, plane tickets, or I was buying them, you know, all their meals, or I was buying them, you know, I was even paying people's medical bills for them and shit. And when that's all said and done, they don't fucking appreciate it.
That is so fucked up that you can be there for somebody and pay their medical bills and pay their plane tickets, and then they turn on you.
Right. So anyway, long story short, you asked me about my life, and my life is mostly spent with my friends, my family, my projects, like working on my site and so forth. And I really lost an interest in interacting with, you know, the idea of becoming something huge, just because it lost its value when I realized it was absolute garbage.
Oh my gosh. But I hope that your creativity, that you focus on that instead of like what people think or say.
Yeah, for sure. I am. I do.
That's where it started, Onision.
All the time. Like, sometimes I do stand-up comedy in my garage, or the next day I'm working on a chapter of my book, or the next day I'm working on a song, or the next day I'm just, you know, updating my site or posting some interesting quiz or whatever. It's all whatever I feel like doing.
You said you weren't happy when you were making the 80,000 per month for the 91 million views.
I made 80,000 1 month.
One month.
Most months it was 20 to 40 grand.
It's still a lot. It's still a lot.
That was years ago. So again,
but you weren't happy. You were not happy then. Are you happy now?
Happier. Yes.
You're happier than when you had all that money. So see, guys, it has nothing to do with fame. It has nothing to do with money. What does it have to do with? What do you think?
It has to do with knowing what is true to you and what your own ambitions are, and stop looking at Instagram or whatever to think that that's the idea or that's what happiness would be. When you look at what everyone else celebrates as happiness, you distract from your own idea of happiness. And the only way that you can really achieve your own happiness, in my opinion, I'm like 1/3 or 1/2 through my life, who knows? So I don't know all, but from what I perceived, it seems like happiness is whatever is true to you. So you have to stop asking what everyone else seems to be happy with, and start asking yourself, what the fuck do you want? What did you do when you were growing up? What did you want to be when you grew up? What are you now? And
when you're a kid, that's who you are. That's what I think, Onision. Like when you're a kid, when when you're like 5 years old, what you want to do then, that's when you're pure and you know what makes you happy. Ever since then, like past that point, it gets all diluted, I think.
Sure. Well, you let other people try to tell you what you are, and sometimes it gets through, and then you start being that thing, and then you realize hopefully you realize that it's not really doing anything for you, and in turn you would hopefully go back to your roots and just be honest with yourself, really.
Yeah, be honest.
Whenever you're unhappy, you got to ask yourself why, and you got to identify the problem, and you got to find out how you can change it. I myself am a diagnosed person with depression, so it's a bit more difficult for me, but I can make progress through daily exercises and routines, focusing on that ambition.
Right. Okay.
Hi, Onision. Hello, Elisa. I'm your biggest fan, as always, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in real life soon, I hope. Onision, I don't think we have ever met before. This is Dolly. I'm the queen of milking in this community. I'm sure you'll hear more about me later on. Onision, I have a question, and that would be, I have seen videos of you all over the internet, of you jerking off, and I want to know why the reason for that is. And by the way, they're so fucking hot.
Because people leak OnlyFans content?
Yes, sir.
That's why.
But why?
I don't know what to tell you. People leak OnlyFans content.
But what was the reason that made you go on OnlyFans?
Oh, you're asking why did I
the money. I think it's the money, Dolly. It's all about the money with that.
Well,
right?
For me, it was I didn't realize that men could do that, like make money doing that. I had often been a person who's like, you shouldn't body shame women who like basically get into porn or whatever.
Right.
You're jerking off to these women and then you shame them. Like that doesn't make sense. You should celebrate and appreciate women who are offering you a oftentimes free service through like Pornhub or whatever, and not shame them for giving you what you were interested in, which, a lot of times is like stepmom, whatever it is. So when I realized that I could make money doing that, and that's what my fans, the ones I consider actually giving something back and really genuinely caring, it seemed, that's what they demanded, I was like, fuck yeah, of course I will do that, because first of all, I didn't realize people were that attracted to the idea. And I didn't realize that it was something that was on such, high demand in general. And I like people pleasing in the sense that if you're a good person and you want something, I know what it's like to want to see a YouTuber start an OnlyFans. Specifically, like fucking, this is inappropriate, but Jenna Marbles. If Jenna Marbles started, if Jenna Marbles started an OnlyFans, I'd be Googling that shit. So that's like, I thought, well, if I was Jenna Marbles, I would want to make content so the Onision out there could see it.
Wait, does Jenna Marbles know you?
No.
She probably knows who you are.
Maybe. I don't know. But the point is that, when I realized I can make a lot of people happy with that content, and I realized it was a money option, especially right around the time that everyone was trying to fucking get me fired from YouTube, and they successfully got me fired from YouTube, as far as being a contractor. Yeah, no, I did what was logical to me at the time, and I'm happy I did it. And if there's a video out there of my OnlyFans content, oh fucking well, I knew it was going to happen.
Oh
Quick
well.
question.
Okay,
Quick
Jimmy, go
question.
ahead.
Yeah, here's the question. You talked about really being like almost in a check. You're like in check, and like in chess. If somebody's in check, they're really prevented from doing something because of something else happening. And earlier in the discussion, you talked about how, and we both, Lisa and I both think you could be a great actor, but you talked about how if you were part of a company, producing some kind of production or some kind of amazing thing that everybody's excited about, you said you probably wouldn't want to even get involved in that because of the fact that eventually stuff could come out about you, cause the production to get canceled. So that's got to be, I know you probably don't think about that a lot, but just the fact that you brought it up is really interesting to me, because it's like you're in check. It's like you're doing all these other things and you're having fun and you're fulfilling your need to create content. But then there's this other thing that it sounded like you might really kind of want to do, but you can't or you don't want to because you don't want to put people in the situation of having a production taken down by, negative publicity about you. Can you just talk a little bit more about how that feels and what that's like? And I
love that life has so many options of things you can do. Like, for instance, OnlyFans, the fact that OnlyFans is there, or, the fact that the stock market is there, or, a number of careers. I could become a guy who works on an oil rig out in the middle of the ocean if I wanted to. There are options there, a lumberjack or whatever. But it does suck to have certain things cut off from possibility. And that is happening to a lot of fucking people. Like,
People getting canceled.
Like, I Google, if you just take any actor and then put accused after it, their name, and Google it, you're going to find out, Sylvester Stallone, for example, or Jim Carrey, people you'd never imagine would have problems. And I imagine, that's why some of those people don't make as much content as they used to, or in many films as they used to be, or whatever. It does affect some people, it doesn't affect other people. But I personally just don't feel like I want to invest in something that that can just be snatched away from me. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's very frustrating. Like, for instance, on Twitch, I put enormous amount of hours into streaming on that site, because that's what people demanded I do. I actually fucking hated streaming gaming.
Like live streaming?
Yeah, I hated streaming game content because it ruined games for me. It was no longer fun. It was like a chore. Right. And that was lame to me. I just felt like it was destroying something that I actually enjoyed in life for the sake of money. But I made just like $1,000 for my very first month, which is not a bad month for your very first month ever. But because of the hate campaign against me, Twitch, without explanation, without warning, they just said, you're no longer monetized and we're keeping the money. And I'm just like,
oh, wow.
It's that kind of thing. So I don't want to take part in sites like YouNow, for example, did the same thing. YouNow is like, we disagree with your off-site behavior, so you're never having an account here again. I'm like, what is my off-site behavior? What the fuck are you guys talking about? Because you're talking about shit that people say, and you're just saying, oh, that must be true then. So
yeah, don't believe anyone.
Send them police reports or whatever, and they ignore them. And they're just like, sorry, it's just like, we don't want to get canceled too. And if that's going to happen on Twitch, if that's going to happen on YouNow, that's going to happen on YouTube, then what's to say it's not going to happen on a production set, no matter how much I bring to it, So I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste everyone else's time.
Onision, I really wish you the best. My hope for you is that you could never think about this stuff again, ever, and just block everyone that brings it up. If I had advice, I would say just block every person. Anybody that says like pedo or any word like that, just block that person and just focus on what you're great at, like your writing and your videos and your comedy and your songs.
Unfortunately, so many people have said that. So many people, like YouTubers specifically, have made so many videos and made so many thousands of dollars saying horrible ass shit about me, taking clips constantly out of context. Like even my fake meltdown videos, I made like 10 grand for making those videos, and it was really fun for me to make those because it was basically a big parody of Basherverse, the late Basherverse, who unfortunately passed away. But Basherverse did a meltdown video a long time ago, and I had this whole series called Fun with Onision, and I saw that Basherverse had done that, and I thought it was funny as hell. I thought, well, wouldn't it be funny if I made a bunch of meltdown videos that were monetized, which is why I had the titles like "Hey" and "You" and "What's Up" or whatever, so they wouldn't be demonetized. And I just made a bunch of fake meltdown videos, and they did very, very well. And then that, too, also got stripped away. And so you have all these people on YouTube who constantly push this narrative that not only those are real, but then they push the narrative that I'm some kind of monster who belongs in jail, even though the cops don't agree, the FBI doesn't agree, the witness doesn't agree. Nobody fucking agrees except for the people getting paid and the people believing the people who were paid's lies. So when you have all this, it amounts to thousands of people saying pedo to you, and it's like an ongoing thing, and people get mad. Why do you pay attention to them? It's like, because my literal whole fucking feed is just pedo. Like, it's like fucking disgusting, especially when I know people who are actually like legitimately accused, not for attention, not for money, but my actual father is accused of that.
Right. So it triggers you even more, right?
By his own family members off camera who don't have incentive or money to make from that. That's a real fucking pedo. And you guys are just going after YouTubers or whoever, calling them pedo, despite the fact that they have never admitted to such thing, they don't do such thing, and you don't appreciate the actual context of it or whatever. So, long story short, it would be nice if I could just block people and move on with my life. But the issue is that they don't move on with theirs. They marry the narrative, and then they drill it into your head forever. There's an episode of The Simpsons where Grandpa Simpson is told that he's a murderer over and over again until finally he confesses to the murder, goes to jail, and while he's in jail, they realize he wasn't the murderer. Like, the media picks it up. They say Grandpa Simpson's a murderer, yada, yada, yada. It's the same bullshit that society does over and over. I'm sure that's happening across the ocean and other countries as well. It's the mob being the fucking stupid mob, as always, and the idiots part of the mob, for some reason, don't realize they're dumb as hell. It also applies to religion. You have thousands of religions, and everybody thinks they're so fucking right, and none of them needs evidence.
Right. No, nobody needs evidence. Okay, so Onision, what's an Onision Sunday look like? Like, what are you gonna do after this? Are you gonna have a nice day?
I'm gonna work on cleaning my house.
Okay, that sounds. I actually like doing that.
Most of my activities involve being a dad, cleaning my house, feeding my dog. I'm actively putting a fish tank together. Like, people
that's so cute.
People really think my life is just some kind of, like, if you watch a documentary about me or you watch a YouTuber video about me, it makes me out to be the most ridiculous thing on fucking earth. And in real life, like, literally, there's a reason I have so many statements from people saying, hey, you're a great guy, loved hanging out with you. And then when they get away from me, and they're surrounded by these fucking internet narratives and stuff, they get like peer pressured and brainwashed or what the fuck ever to completely forget how it was to be around me and how fucking boring I am essentially in real life.
You're just a regular guy. He just has an incredible amount of talent, but really he's just a regular guy. That's
I also consider myself to be very generous, and I try to consider other people's feelings and so forth. However, it's important to understand that if someone's being stupid, back in the day, I would call someone stupid, or if someone is being a dick, I would say that they're being a dick or whatever. And that can create anxiety or anger towards me as well from those people. But ultimately, like, for instance, the person in question, they wound up in the end saying that I hadn't done anything. And then people paid them, and they did this whole show for everyone, which is very confusing and contradictory, but it's hard to explain human psychology in every instance.
It is, but I'm happy, for certain things about you, like, you're still creative. You're not letting people get you down. I could tell it is still big, like, it's occupying your brain a lot. That's fine. But I know there's some way that you can make it smaller and kind of move on from it. Like, year after year, maybe it'll get smaller and smaller.
I think it's about just coping with the reality that this is the way things are.
Okay.
And saying, okay, I'm going to accept that there's, this cloud over my head.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be miserable as a result of it, or am I going to accept the cloud and, you know, maybe talk about it from time to time, but also live my life under that cloud?
Yes. Okay, and if people want to check you out, just Google Onision.
Don't actually, no.
No,
Google prioritizes drama, unfortunately. So the best way to reach me is onision.com.
Okay, sorry. Okay, do not Google Onision. Do not Google him.
No, you can Google me. It's just, you know, a lot of the results are fucking debunked ass articles. So
Yeah, do not Google Onision.
And that's the thing with the news too, guys. You'll notice they report on the initial bullshit, but they don't ever say, "Oh, a police report came out completely vindicating him." They don't do that.
That's annoying. I know that's annoying. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you're going
You
through
live in
this.
society.
You know, you've been very generous to this show. You've been so generous to us. If there's anything we can do as a community here, just like let me know, you know, anything. I mean, I offered, this is like nothing, but, you know, we can help you maybe with something as far as the road trip. I know you want to go on a road trip. That's the only thing I could think of. But there's.
I don't want to go on a road trip. I suggested that if you guys want to, if you're ever in town, I'll be happy to hang out with y'all and do that in real life streaming thing you suggested.
Oh, real live streaming. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know what that would do for you,
Up
but
to you.
yeah, anything for Onision because he's been so generous to the show. Thank you. Did you have fun today, Onision?
Yeah, this was a great experience. I'm glad that your show's still going and that you're, you know, piecing everything together even after some hiccups. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. We all do that. The great people, they go on. They don't let anybody get them down, whether it's Pixelbat, whether it's your ex, whether it's online internet trolls, people like Onision, people like me. We're very much like Jesus. You know, Jesus went through a lot. No?
I mean,
no?
I would never say that.
No? Okay, well, I'll say that. I'll say that on, it's my opinion. This is not Onision's opinion. My opinion is like, you know, Jesus was really great, right? And he went through a lot and people were constantly, because he was so great, people went against him and they tried to tear him down. They tried to hurt him, but he rose again. And that's like Onision and that's like me. And, you know.
Everyone who's your critic, all they heard is that you're a nut job who compares themselves to Jesus Christ, which is, you know, it's not true, but everyone's going to spin things the way they want to and they're going to hear what they want to hear. So, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I would say that I'm like just a regular person that people fucking make way too much hype over. Yeah, that's about it.
He's a humble guy. He's not comparing himself to anybody. He's just very humble. He's going to clean his house. After this, he's cleaning. Are you going to have any lunch or what are you going to do?
I often forget to eat.
Really? I wish I was like
I'm a typical guy where unless someone is around to remind me to eat, a lot of times I forget. And then I'm just like working on my computer all day.
All right, well, show us what you work on next. We're all interested. We all love you. Thank you so much for being on Kermit and Friends. You're the best, and welcome back anytime.
Thanks.
What a sweetheart. Don't you guys just love him? Oh, my God. Love Onision. Obviously, we want him back over and over again. He's the best. Aaron Ozee is next on the show. He is an author. He's incredible. He has a lot of big things happening. But first, everybody enjoy Wappy Flanker.
She's been killing time. She's been drinking find herself, the one she left behind. They lied, she cried, the way it felt she died. Trying to find herself, the one she left behind. Yeah, come on, she's crying out for love. She's crying out, oh love, can you feel me? Yeah, come on, she's living life for love. She gave her life for love, can you feel me? Yeah, come on, she's crying out for love. She's crying out, oh love, can you feel me? Yeah, come on, she's living life for love. She gave her life for love, can you feel me?
Okay, so now we have on the show another guest. This is a regular guest on Kermit and Friends. Okay, this is a regular guest. He's a wonderful guy. He's an author. I'm going to just read you a little bit about him. His name is Aaron Ozee. He's a bestseller. Who is this person? Keeps calling over and over. What?
Hello?
Yeah, who is this?
Oh, hi, this is Francis.
Hey, Francis, you called like 100 times. What's going on?
Well, no, I didn't call 100 times, but I do have a question. Why was it that you let that man ramble on with his nonsense, and you had all these people come in and out with these boring questions instead of taking calls and have some real questions?
I mean, I know what the questions are going to be. It's just so annoying, the whole pedophile stuff. He was found innocent, sir. Sorry. Really sorry to.
You're assuming that you know what I have to say to him.
All right, what was your question?
That's not what I had to say at all.
What was your question?
Well, my question is, I was interested in maybe exploring something with men, and I just wanted to know, when his daddy blew his asshole out, did he recover from it quickly? Am I going to be in pain?
You sound like a dumb hick. You sound like a dumb hick. I hate people like you. I'm sorry. I hate people like you.
Him in the ass,
yeah. Okay. All right. Get off my phone, asshole. Anyway. Okay. So I have a guest who's an author, Aaron Ozee. Let me tell you about him. He's a best-selling American poet, a children's book author who has penned over 10 books since 2011. His most popular book, Regulus, has been made into a film and will have both a prequel and a sequel released. Everybody, welcome to the show. A great guy, Kermit and Friends regular, Aaron Ozee. Doctor.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And Elisa, it's a pleasure to be here. It's been a little while since I've been on the show, but it's always a pleasure to really connect with so many great people, so many interesting people, and talk about so many great subjects. So.
Yeah, exactly. I just love having you here. You're so amazing. I admire you and what you've done. There's so many accomplishments. I saw you're being rewarded an honorary Doctor of Human Letters by American Management University in September. What is that?
Yeah, so I originally had worked to get my first Doctor of Philosophy for about 6 years. And then I do this quite often, where I enter into larger agreements with either one university or multiple universities, where I go and either physically speak to incoming or graduating students, or do that virtually as well. And for about 2 years, I worked with a slew of universities, and in congratulations and thanks for me in participating in that arrangement, they had put my name into the nomination committee to receive an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. And in terms of doctorates, that is probably one of the most prestigious that you can be awarded. So it's a huge, huge goal for me. And the nice thing is the conferment ceremony is happening September 10th in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. So that would be very great to go out there. And there's actually a fellow K-pop. There's a fellow K-pop star who is receiving a honorary doctorate in the same instance. So very, very big deal for me. And just kind of looking back at my life, I never thought that any of this would happen. And you'll hear me say that quite often, because it still kind of feels like a dream to me. It's really a wild ride. So.
Okay, let me ask you this. I just noticed in the private chat, because we have a private chat as well as a public chat here.
Yeah.
And I noticed you Are you an Onision fan? Or what was that about?
No, I've never met him. I've never heard of him before.
Oh, okay.
I kind of heard him talking about, despite all the negativity, I've heard him talk about his family, him writing a book or working on several books. And, I believe, that there's good in everybody, despite, what other people have said so far. But I just wanted to kind of reach out to him and say, if you do need help for whatever reason, you can come to me and, ask me questions. I just like to help everybody. I'm not really against anybody. I don't have any hatred or negativity towards anybody. But if he reaches out, great. If not, then that's fine. So,
I want to help him too. I just don't know how, because right now I just see, wait, hold on. You can click on, shoot. I'm sorry. So I want to help him too. I just I just noticed that he's very fixated on what the trolls are saying, and almost like he can't snap out of it. Somebody made a video of me. They called me a man. They put like a penis on me, like some kind of porn video, and like mildly for like 1 minute that upset me. But then I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna research my guests. I'm gonna work on my music. There's so many. You don't have to be fixated on that. And he has so much going on. I'm actually shocked he would be fixated on that. It's surprising to me.
Well, and that upsets me to hear that someone did that to you. I consider you to be an amazing friend, as I do Andy as well. And, Onision, I know that he is constantly bombarded with negative comments, people DMing him. I mean, he has 15,000 people blocked on Twitter. A lot of what he talked about with fame coming and going and, getting money and losing money, I can relate to a lot of that and, understand the pressure, the struggle of being a public figure. And, not everyone is always going to be in the good graces of everyone. I understand what he was saying about, fans, having very little meaning to him. I wouldn't put it like that for myself. I very much devote myself and dedicate myself to my fans and growing my fan base because I go above and beyond for them. But at the same time, I understand how fans can expect so much of you. And when you don't deliver, they don't even resort to, questions or don't back off. They instead resort to negativity and hatred. And that's just a really sad thing to see.
He has so much to offer as a human being. It's very sad to me. Like when he goes into his rants about, it's very sad. He's so much more than what he even knows. And I mean, I just don't have energy to I can help very minimally people, right? I could support people. I could say, you're doing great. You're awesome. But beyond that, I'm kind of exhausted. Okay. So you're partnering with a new company called Theon.
Yes.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, you are actually.
Okay, so you're going, apparently through this company, you're going to be the first author to be recreated using artificial intelligence. What is that about?
So I was to kind of give a tiny bit of backstory. I was among the original 100 celebrities to join Cameo in 2017 when they started here in Chicago. And Andy was in the first, I think, 500 or 1,000 stars that had joined as well. So I was very early to the game. And ever since then, I kind of knew that the whole celebrity engagement industry was bound to explode. And now Cameo is $1 billion company. And, it was like just 5 years ago, I was walking around with the CEO at the Merchandise Mart in Chicago. And, we're kind of talking about, okay, what can this company be? And it was just so interesting. And ever since then, I've joined all these different networks, connecting with all these different fans. And so very recently, in the past 6+ months, I had executives from this company called Theon reach out to me. The same company that invented the technology for Snapchat lenses and Instagram filters, they're the ones who are funding this company as well. So a lot of credibility coming from them. But what they're doing is I've been working with them for 6 months, very intensive, rounds of work to basically recreate me using their unique artificial intelligence where fans can interact with me by, sending messages or video messages or audio messages, and I will respond back to them in my full signature yellow suit, without me even being present. And it's just I hate to put it like this, but it's a moneymaker because I don't have to be present. There is no effort there, but there's been a lot of effort to get to this point. But they are launching the company with me as the only celebrity, and they're going to recruit from that point. But the first person they ever did this with was Elon Musk. So when they were pitching me, I got to engage with the Elon Musk version that they created, and it was unbelievably realistic, unbelievably so. And so I'm so interested. I'm going to get the prototype next week. And I'm just so interested. I'll have to send you a video of it because I feel like it's going to be awesome, but creepy at the same time. But I'm just really excited for it. And just something so unique, so futuristic, something that no author, not really many people have done before. And I'm just really excited to see where that journey goes.
And you're getting married. Congratulations.
I am getting married. My fiance of 10, my girlfriend and then now fiance of 10 plus years. We're getting married
10 years?
Yeah, a long time.
Why take you so long? What took you so long, Aaron?
You and her parents and everyone else does the same thing. But, I wanted to take our time. We were going through school. We were focusing on a lot of different life challenges. I was growing my career. She was doing the same. And, after a while, we just decided that it was time, and I felt like it was the right time. And because of the pandemic, we probably would have gotten married a little sooner. But we just wanted it to be right. And it wasn't really for us being prevented because of the pandemic to get married. We wanted our family, our friends, our colleagues, to come out. I already told you, Elisa, you and Andy will both be invited. I'd love to have you there.
Oh, all right.
Absolutely.
Wait, where's the wedding going to be?
It's in Florida.
I love Florida.
Yeah, it's a great. I'll make sure to send you a save the date card soon. It's really exciting. And I'm just really happy to start a great future with her, and to build my own family. I'm a very family centric person. I love children, as you know, and I just want to have someone by my side who shares the same values, and I know that she does. So she's a wonderful woman.
Ah, that's so terrific. Congratulations. I will go to your wedding. What part of Florida is it going to be in?
Around the Daytona Beach area.
Okay. So I will be there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on all your success. If people want to reach you, how do they do that?
Anyone who wants to reach me, please just reach me on social media. It's just Aaron Ozee or author Aaron Ozee, depending on the handle. But I will say this, it seems like there's a lot of creative and interesting people in the public comments, that are really just, being entertained by the show. And if anyone is in need of creative guidance, needs help with writing, anything with social media, anything in the entertainment industry, please just reach out to me, because like I said, I really enjoy helping people, and it's more of a joy to me to see other people succeed, because I've already gotten to that point. I've already achieved success. And it's going to continue to grow, but the hard work's already done. Now it's time for me to share that with other people who are in desperate need of it, because I know what it was like growing up, not having that hand. I had to figure a lot of the stuff out on my own, but now I'm in a place where I can actually, share that knowledge and insight with other people.
So you can help people in the entertainment industry?
Well, any creator, honestly, it doesn't have to be in the entertainment industry. Any creator, more or less, who's in need of assistance in any level, in any side of their life, I'll do whatever I can to, intervene and hopefully help them on to the next step. And, it's just a joy for me to know that I had some part in helping them. So
maybe you could help Carl here, because Carl, berated Onision today to come on his podcast. Did you think that was the right way to go about it? What did you think about that?
I don't think it was the most appropriate thing to pitch it during your show, just because this is your show. But I do appreciate the the drive to do that, because you were face to face with him here.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Aaron.
Nice to meet you, Carl.
Hey, how are you? I know I don't
Great.
have the video on right now, Elisa. I mean, I'm experiencing some technical problems with my camera, but yeah, Doctor, who are you? I've never.
He's helping you. He's the guy that's trying to help you. He helps people in the entertainment industry. He helps people that are podcasters. And he was just saying, you went about it the wrong way with Onision. You should have been more gentle about it.
I mean, I don't want him really on the podcast.
Well, I'll go on your podcast. How about that?
Let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
DM me on Twitter. We'll make it happen. All right.
Doctor. Wow. Who's your? I don't have a Twitter.
Let's just start off Instagram, Facebook. You want to email me? We'll connect somehow.
No, I'll email you. What's your email?
Well, I'm not going to share that
He's
information.
you're both in the Kermit and Friends Discord server. Maybe you could like reach each other there.
There we go. Follow me on Discord, and send me a request on Discord.
Instagram handle?
It's author Aaron Ozee.
Aaron. Okay, one more time. So can you spell that out?
Yeah, it's author spelled the normal way, and then Aaron Aaron, and then Ozee Ozee.
Okay, and you're a therapist?
No, I'm not a therapist. I have a doctor in philosophy, and I will be soon receiving my Doctor of Humane Letters. So,
you're a philosopher.
You could say part of that, yeah.
You have a PhD in philosophy?
I do.
Oh, is it like analytic or continental?
Neither, but it's it's more general because I touched on a variety of different subjects writing my thesis. I really focused on world religions. That was a core focus of my PhD.
Oh, okay.
But philosophy has really influenced a lot of my writing, and it has made me a stronger person, honestly, to understand very tough challenges and to help other people. And it's kind of just brought a different light into my life. It's really hard to explain, but it vastly influenced, especially the religious aspect of philosophy. It really influences certain things that I do. So,
Interesting. Well, listen, Dr. Aaron, do you want to have a conversation now? I mean, what kind of conversation? What can I talk to you about?
Why don't you hold it? Why don't you save it for your podcast, Carl? Because you know,
I got loads to say. Stand there however long you want. Let's just talk offline and make it happen. All right.
All right. See, Carl. All right. Great.
All right.
Okay. Wonderful. All right.
Amazing.
All right,
yes.
Oh my God. Okay. So I'm so sorry, but you'll help him. You'll be on his show.
Sure.
Wherever it is. Okay. So if the Kermitarians want to reach you, how do they reach you?
Anywhere on social media, it's either Aaron. Just search Google Aaron Ozee or author Aaron Ozee, and you'll definitely find a way to reach me. I think there's pretty much on every platform where you can. So just please do, and we'll talk some more and build a nice community. So
perfect. Thank you so much, Aaron. Love him. Love him. Love him. Okay, after this show is going to be the wrap-up show with Weezy and Jimmy and who else is going to be on that today?
Charmin's going to be there, Supertramp, and I think maybe T-Bob he had been mentioning in the private chat, so that'll be fun.
Maybe K-Jobs.
K-Jobs, always. K-Jobs, you look wonderful today, K. I love your hair down.
Yeah, and what are we going to talk about? It's just such a success that we could even do this show today. I was so worried about that.
Yeah.
I was so worried.
I have a bunch of notes. I want to talk about Onision. I definitely think Carl might be the worst thing to ever happen to the show. He's so annoying.
Yeah, he's right here. And you know what?
Hey, how are you, Weezy? How are you?
Great. How are you? You need to improve quite a bit before you come on more. You are so bad.
Yeah.
In what capacity?
You're talking to hear yourself. You're trying to be all cutesy. Like there's no redeeming qualities that I see.
You're a faggot.
Okay, all right. Okay, so last week I was watching the wrap-up show, and actually Carl was a topic.
Carl, he's just like he's a stream killer. He comes on here to hear himself, and he has these little like ridiculous cutesy. He's trying to be all funny. He can't make eye contact with the fucking camera. He hasn't looked at the camera one time.
He might be nervous.
He's just the worst thing to ever happen to the show.
Well, what did you ask Onision, Weezy? What did you ask him?
You must not have been paying attention.
What did you ask him about?
I don't answer to Carl. I don't answer any questions.
What did you ask him?
Carl, you are
I asked him the important shit
to happen.
I asked him the important question.
Sorry I upset you, but you're pathetic.
Fuck you.
You
oh
too,
my gosh. So last week on the wrap-up show, I actually have a clip of them talking about Carl. Carl was a big topic. Here it is. Here's Carl.
Carl today.
I hated him.
I did too.
Carl, if you're watching.
Danny, were you happy to see his feet? Danny, were you happy to see Carl's feet?
I missed that part. So
you missed.
He's trash, Carl. If you're watching, you're trash. Even your own streams are trash. When you come on here and you try to do this cutesy, I'm smart thing, it never works. You're garbage. You're never going to be on this show.
And I want to point out that the day Sherman came back to the show, Elisa had ended it because this person, Penelope, came up and bashed her and shamed her and made fun of her looks, and that was Carl. So but then brought Sharman back. It was a great So Lisa ended the show, and then Charmin popped up, and she brought it back up. It created a great moment. But Carl, you're just a douche, man.
Carl, you are a douche.
Carl's a piece of shit.
The whole drama over the prosthetic toe and just so he could steal the glory of being the bullying expert when he's clearly the bully.
And calling Claire a
Classic
faggot.
gaslighting.
Listen, I'm not a Jimmy, sorry. I'm not a Jimmy the Christian fan right now because he's been a nightmare to deal with. But calling him a faggot online in front of everybody, it's out of bounds. He shouldn't be doing that. And he's just doing that. He's from the IP2 community, which I'm going to say it. I've met a lot of cool people from IP2, but for the most part, they're trash. Just trash.
Can I ask a
thanks for
question?
the views, but you guys are fucking trash. And Carl, if you're watching, you suck. Sorry.
It kind of sounded like Carl kidnapped Andy.
Yeah,
What was
Yeah, so I wasn't good, right? I mean, it wasn't really like
I
but
stand
why
behind
is
that.
but why is everybody having such a strong reaction to Carl?
I think
Usually
people see right through his shtick. Like he's
Oh,
just trying
really?
to be like a little cute guy on here, doesn't look at the camera. He's like, oh, really? And he tries to he's trying too hard. If he was, hey, Carl, if you were authentic and you weren't a douchebag, maybe it would be cool. You got to be funny first, though. You think you're funny, but you're not. Listen to you laughing at yourself. You think you're funny, but you're not. That's what we're dealing with.
I just wonder if Jimmy agrees. Jimmy, you're a wrap-up show host as well.
No,
Are
I'm,
you?
I don't even know if Wheezy wants me on the wrap-up show. He doesn't. He's been so salty to me lately. He doesn't really like me a lot these days. I don't know why. We could talk about it. It'd be great to talk about it. But yeah, Carl, I agree. I actually agree with Wheezy. Carl thinks of himself as like this.
I mean, listen to him now.
smart-
This proves my point.
Carl thinks of himself as this smart kind of edgy performance artist type. And Carl,
Is Carl crying?
no, he's trying.
No,
to
he's
get
trying to
us
be
to laugh.
cutesy. He
He's
doesn't.
being cutesy.
He needs to be in the limelight.
Yeah,
at
so
all.
thank you, Carl, for allowing Wheezy and I to bond over how much you suck. That's
All
great.
right. Oh no, I'm gonna mute Carl for a second. I'm just gonna say, would Carl be welcome on the wrap-up show?
No,
No?
not at all. He's a stream killer, Lisa. Listen,
Stream killer?
he will always interrupt so that he can get his own little, like what he's doing right now.
Yeah,
He'll do
yeah,
that
yeah.
so that he interrupts the flow. I'm all about flow.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
interrupted your flow
Yeah,
3 or
likewise.
4 times today. That's what he's
Am I
done.
allowed on the wrap-up show?
Yes, of course. If you,
Of course. Yeah.
Everybody but Carl's allowed.
Carl's
Jimmy.
not allowed. He's one of a couple people that aren't allowed ever. He's like one of maybe 2.
Well, maybe he's allowed on T-Bob's show. Is Carl allowed on your show, Bob?
Hey, how you doing, T-Bob?
How you doing, Carl?
Do you understand these people? Do you understand
Inter chatting with Carl. I don't really know Carl like y'all do, though. I just hear he's a piece of dirt, a piece of trash. And I think I've had him blocked already on Discord. So other than that, I never had a real problem.
T-Bob, we go way back, bro. What are you talking about, man?
All right. Okay, you're gonna figure out.
Why are you
Carl.
throwing shade? Why are you throwing shade at me right here? What about in the DMs? In the DMs, we got a good exchange going.
Yeah,
What do you mean? Why are you doing this right here, right now?
I blocked him. He was running around with a couple of Tootsie Rolls, I think, over there. At least
What are you talking about, Tootsie Rolls? What are you talking about, man?
You know,
Hey,
the
yo,
little-
you and me go way the hell back, and you're trying to talk to me like you don't know me. We've been knowing each other for years. What the hell's going on?
No, let me tell you about Carl. Hold on, guys. Let me tell you about Carl.
What the hell's going on with you?
Carl is a good guy with good intentions, I think. But a lot of times, maybe he comes at people wrong. Maybe.
There we
You know
go.
what I'm saying? But he's
Misunderstood.
been a rapper. He's been involved with radio and stuff like that. He's a pretty good guy.
You got me, T-Bob.
think
He's
might
got
go.
my back. He's got my back. Elisa, you got my back. We're on the same page. There's just
All
some
right.
rotten apples. We know the rotten apples.
Okay. So Bob, reach out to Carl, help him out. Okay, he needs somebody to help him. So please reach out to him on Discord. Everybody should connect on the Kermit and Friends Discord. I have it pinned on my YouTube channel. And I appreciate everybody for joining in the show today. I was very nervous because, as you all know, my show was hacked last week, but this week we made it through. And that's what Onision does. That's what Bob does. That's what Wheezy does. All the great Kermitarians here, they do not give up, right, Bob?
That's right, man. You got to keep on trucking and don't pay any attention to them naysayers. They get you down. It's like Onision. They're right about that with him. He's only concentrating on what they're saying.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe that he would be so upset by that.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I heard something about you getting an RV. Have you ever actually thought about it and getting somebody to drive it around the country?
I would consider that. Just right now, I'm trying to focus on Kermit and Friends, like our wrap-up show and our show, and making it the best possible. Onision actually did not seem excited about the road trip, so I'm just going to back off a little bit and just concentrate on our show here, Kermit and Friends, where we help people. Like you're going to help Carl. Weezy helps people. We have a nice platform here where we can do things for people and we can make friends and help each other's life. And I was very lonely before I started the show, Bob, and it's really saved me. So I appreciate, you being a friend and everybody being a friend to me here. And, Leaf King for helping to produce the show, and everybody that contributes has just been so incredible. And it's just really nice. It's the nicest thing I have in my life.
Well, that's good to hear. I hope this continues to warm over in your personal life.
Yes, my personal life needs help, that's for sure. All right, so everybody join Wheezy and Charmin and all the greats on the wrap-up show that discusses this show directly after this. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, wait, I'm going to call her. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Hi, Lisa. It's Dave.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, that's right. I was just listening to the bit you were saying about how you've been able to stay on the air after what happened last week and people trying to take the program down, and you've kind of risen up. And I just wanted to say a little shout out because the England women's football team have just won the final, and it's the first time any England sports team has won anything since 1966. So it's like a huge moment at the minute, and they've kind of risen up, and they were thought of as like a joke, and now they've kind of won and beaten everybody. And so congratulations to them, and well done to you for being back on the air again.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. And you just don't give up. That's what it is. That's what it's about. Don't let people take you down. Never give up or quit because of other people, what they're saying. It was very heartbreaking today hearing Onision. He has so much tremendous pain over what other people are saying. And I can't believe it. I can't, I was listening and I was pretty sad during that. I was pretty sad. People are saying he's awesome. I agree that Onision, he's been so giving to this show. He's been on 3 times now. And he's just a sweetheart. He reached out to me. A lot of people reached out to me after my show got hacked last week. I'm sorry. Somebody just turned my computer off. But that shows you he has nothing to gain from coming on this show, but he helps when he can. And that's what we should all do here. We should all help when we can and do whatever we can for people, for Kermitarians, for somebody outside, for somebody at the grocery store, anywhere. That's the Kermitarian way, is to help people.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And people forget online that it's real people that they're messing around with and that they're hurting and that it does actually affect people's feelings. But you've risen up and you're back again. And I love you, babe, and well done.
Thank you. Love you too. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about that. Never give up. Be a Kermitarian. If you're not a Kermitarian, I have very little interest in you. Okay, so that's just how it goes. Kermitarian, I have a lot of interest. Anti-Kermitarian, no interest. You can't keep us down. We help each other. We're there for each other. I appreciate everyone. Wits In for booking guests on this show. Leaf King, everybody that books guests, thank you so much. Jimmy Jordana booked Onision today. And I think he's fantastic. I really do. Aaron Ozee is a friend of Andy Dick. Leaf King helped with that. So if you have a guest that you want to see on Kermit and Friends, reach out to one of the producers here or me in my Discord, and we'd love to see them on. We help everybody here. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next week on Kermit and Friends.
Sometimes it could be an accident. Sometimes it could be suicide. Sometimes it could be murder. There are a lot of ways people die. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's time to face the truth. Rising up like angels do. I've been facing death, it's true. Every corner through and through. The devil wants me dead, it's true. I've been